Hey there, Liz at Hooks Greenhouse, and I just wanted to go over some watering tips. Today it is rainy, and it's been raining a lot, but sometimes you still have to check your basket because sometimes it's not enough rain, it's not truly getting into the soil. It might just be covering the plant, not really getting a deep root soaking. So I just wanted to talk. I have just a little bit of baskets left. We are in our sale season. So we just have these 3 baskets left. So I wanted to show you though how to water a basket so that you know that it's thoroughly been watered. So here I have a bubblegum petunia. It's still a little young. I'm going to go up to the pot, kind of lift on it, and if it's heavy, which this one kind of is, you'll see that it doesn't kind of pop up like if it was empty. So pop it up, kind of heavy. Say we're going to have a really hot day. I'm going to water it in the morning anyways. So this is the method that I would do for watering a basket. I would kind of go to wherever there's like a opening in the plant, kind of go to the bottom. I'm going to do a little bit of watering here at a low pressure, and I'm going to fill it up until it overflows, and I'm going to take a break. And I'm going to allow a second for that water to get deeper. So we'll show you this. I'll bring it down so you can actually see it. But this is if it was hanging up. So I'm going to give it a second, let that water soak in. I'm going to give it another drink. So it just got to the rim. There's a little bit of space up there, so it just got to the top. And now you can see I've got some water coming out of the bottom. So I'm going to let it drip for a second. I still have some water inside that pot. And I'm going to do this one more time. And it's starting to overflow around the edge, but you can see it's dripping thoroughly through the bottom. That's what you need to see, a good root soaking. So that water is going to start moving through the whole pot. The idea is to have enough water that it's going to kind of go all the way to the bottom. Your roots of your plant are all the way to the bottom of this pot. You want to make sure that they're fully soaked. Okay? So that's how you should have your basket. So here I have, this is a sun patient. And this is in a 10-inch pot, and there's 3 plants in a 10-inch pot, which is entirely too many plants. This should be a 1 plant in a 10-inch pot. That would get you through the whole season with a beautiful plant, and you wouldn't have a watering issue. I buy these in from Willoway, and we usually get them late in the season, kind of when we're running out of our own stuff. It's beautiful, it's great, but it has been giving us some grief because it is constantly in need of water. And so I was just going to show you, ideally I would probably pot this up into a much bigger pot, but I'm going to show you, it's got some really dense roots. This is a little bit barkier of a mix. It tends to dry out a little bit more than a ProMix potting soil, but we've got some nice roots there. But you can see there's 3 ginormous plants in a 10-inch pot. So I would probably put this into like even a 12 would be better, a 14-inch would be great. You could put this in the ground. That would even be better because then it wouldn't dry out nearly as much. So I'm just going to show you with this. I'm going to do my watering from the top, and I'm going to kind of move aside some of this foliage till I could get to the bottom, and then I'm going to fill it up. Now, one of the things that can happen with these pots is that they'll actually, you can see it's immediately dripping through. And what will happen is the pot itself will kind of shrink away from the side, and it will leave kind of an edge where the water is just going to run right through. So it just literally goes right over sits on top, the water then goes around the edge, and then it runs right out. So a trick for this, I don't know if we can see this. So here you can see we have the pot here and the soil over here, and then we have like an air gap, a space. So as this soil starts shrinking because of the lack of water in the pots, it'll actually pull away from the side. So you'll have like this gap here. So when I water it, the water is just going to go right over the edge and down. So the soil's never actually going to get hydrated again. Here I have a fern that you can see it's definitely dry. It's got all these droopy leaves. It's not looking so hot. And if you actually do some digging, you can see again that when this has been watered, it's the same thing. It has like some indents here. We call those little water reservoirs where the water will actually hit in here and it will make like a, like a natural waterway, and it will just kind of go whoop, 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 and then out here and then down this side. And you can see all that, how it's pulled away from the pot. So this is just an easier example of showing what's happening with this plant. And so we water it, and everybody thinks that they're watering it nice and well, and then it's dry as a bone. So I'm going to show you how we're going to fix these two problems. So what we're going to do here is we're going to actually go along the soil, and I'm just going to use my hands, and I'm going to crinkle up the top of the soil. So I'm crinkling the soil, and I'm just giving it a massage. You can feel a little bit of roots, but I'm not going heavy enough to damage anything. I'm just kind of mixing up that top soil. And then I end up with kind of a crinkled soil on top. And then when I water, now what's going to happen, I'm going to water until it's almost flowing over the edge, and I stop, and then that loose soil is actually going to fill in that gap around the whole edge, and it's going to create a barrier, and it's going to fix those little reservoirs that we have so that it can start hydrating that soil again. So crinkling up that soil, you can do this to any of your plants. So it's watering thoroughly through. If your pot just doesn't seem to be holding that moisture, you could always put a pan or something underneath of it to kind of hold in that moisture, hold in that water, and then the soil can then start reabsorbing it from the bottom, and that would be okay too. This is just one of those little tips that help in the heat of the summer to kind of help get that soil hydrated again. So this sun patient, it will usually need about a gallon of water, I would say, a day when it's hot. So if it doesn't get that consistent moisture, you'll see that the plant itself will kind of wilt down, and it'll look like really sad. And then when you give it a drink of water, it'll bounce back fairly quickly, but sometimes you can lose a lot of your flowers, which is what happened here if you're not consistently watering it. That's why I would just recommend potting it up into a bigger planter or starting from the beginning with just one plant in a 10-inch pot. So that's that sun patient. It's going to do much better now that, you can see, very, very heavy, very full. We did a good job watering this guy. So here we have that fern pot, and I'm going to show you as I water it, kind of on a low speed. It'll probably trickle right through pretty quickly. Yep, you'll see it's going right through the pot. So I'm just going to take it and crinkle that soil, mix it up, and give it another drink of water. Put a little bit in until it hits the rim. Let it soak down. Give it a little bit more. Let it soak down. I'm going to do it one more time. Third time's a charm. Okay. And so this should all bounce back. It's feeling a little crusty, so we might lose a little bit of the branches, but overall it'll be okay. Okay, there we go. Still a little light after 3 waterings, so you definitely want to pay attention to this. These things need to have thorough watering, especially in the heat. It's definitely something you got to be on top of so that you don't lose your plants. And there's a lot of like this hanging baskets, you got to be really consistent on watering. And I know with the rain, everybody thinks that maybe we can miss a day or two, but sometimes that's not the case. Once this is fully rooted, they do need water every day. And then again, you can do that fertilizing. I say every 3rd time you water. Just a good rule of thumb so that you're not over-fertilizing, but you are fertilizing. As they lose that nutrition from the soil, they're going to need more, so you got to give them some kind of supplement. There you have it. We did a little bit of watering just to kind of help you get those baskets to last all season long and your plants to last all season long. I know we're going to get really hot really quickly, So keep a good eye and hope to see you soon.